Okay, so in this video I want to cover some public options that you might have if you're trying to find a company's EIN. Right, so the EIN or Employer Identification Number, it's a business tax ID number that's assigned to entities, and this is issued by the IRS. It's assigned to both U.S. entities and foreign entities if they need or want one as well. Now, there's currently no public database for all EINs, right? So it's for the most part private information. The IRS doesn't have a portal or a website where you can just search for an EIN online. But in some cases, you can find EINs on other databases if they are made public, but it's limited to certain types of entities. So we got a list here. Go through this, and maybe you can use one of these avenues to try to find an EIN. So the first one is SEC registered and publicly traded companies. The EIN is disclosed on the front of the 10K, right? And you can also find it on 10Qs. So if you go to the SEC EDGAR database or any publicly traded company, they're going to post their annual and quarterly reports on their website. You'll see it right on there on page 1, right? They'll have their EIN that's assigned to the entity. The second one is if you're an employee of a company and you're trying to find the EIN, you can just look at the W-2, right? So W-2s are furnished to employees if they work for the company during the year and earn income, have payroll taxes taken out, and on the W-2 you'll find the EIN assigned to that company. So that's one way to find the EIN if you're looking for it for your employer. The next on the list is nonprofit organizations. So nonprofits are tax-exempt entities under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code. And these entities are generally required to publish their EIN in a couple of places. So the first is they want to have it on their website, and this is because on their website they also want to indicate what type of public charity they are. So you have name of the charity, address, EIN, and then it's very often attached to any kind of confirmation receipt if you have a donor that's contributing cash or other types of property. And that's because the donor is going to want to take a charitable tax deduction for their contribution. And as part of their record keeping, they're supposed to have this information on file in case the IRS ever asks. The other thing with tax-exempt entities is they generally are required to publish their tax return. So the Form 990, 990s are for operating charitable organizations, and then you have 990 PFs for private foundations. They also generally publish that data. And so if you look at the Form 990 for the company, you can find the EIN on there also. The IRS has a search on their website for tax-exempt entities. That's a link to that one. And then there's some other websites as well catalog the tax return data, and ProPublica.org is another governmental agency or organization that publishes that data also. So if you're looking for the EIN for a tax-exempt nonprofit charitable organization, you can find it using one of those methods. And the last on the list is certain types of state databases. So some states will collect this information and put it into public record. And so, for example, Florida is one of them, right? So Florida, if you go to the sunbiz.org website, this is where Florida entities are created. And it's also where there's a public database where you can search by entity name, you can search by registered agent, LLC owners, corporate owners, and the EIN is a field that is available in that database. And so when you're a Florida entity and you publish your annual report to renew the company, one such field that Florida asks you to key in is what is your EIN. It's not actually required, but if you do have it, you're supposed to publish it. And so that is one additional way where you could find an EIN if you're working with a Florida entity, right? A Florida entity should be publishing that information in the Florida database. So that covers it. Again, there's no comprehensive public database for all company EINs, but there are ways to find an EIN through a variety of different methods, depending on what type of entity you are searching for. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thank you.